welcome to the kbbreview podcast. I'm Andrew Davies, and this is another of our very special Insights 2026 series of daily episodes where we talk to leaders at some of the biggest brands in the kitchen and bathroom industry. We're getting their candid evaluations and conclusions for business in 2025 and seeing what their thoughts, predictions and plans are for 2026. It's all top-level stuff and a proper snapshot of where the sector is as we head into a new year. In this episode, we're talking with Simeon Gabriel, the UK Managing Director of Hettich. It is, of course, a huge global player, so his assessments of 25 and 26 are bound to be interesting. But as always with Simeon, he has some real nuggets of insight and advice that are equally as applicable for the smallest businesses too. You can find out more about Hettich at hettich.com, and that link is in the episode description. And here is Simeon Gabriel. Hello, Simeon.
Andy, great to hear you and see you.
You too, mate. You too. I haven't seen you for a long time.
Yeah, it's been a little while. So how's life treating you?
So far, so good. It's always good to approach Christmas. I'm quite a Christmassy person. Are you a Christmassy person?
Yes, I love a bit of Christmas.
Now, when does your tree go up, Simeon? That's the question.
Well, you see, not until December. Got to get a little bit closer to the season and then enjoy it properly.
Yeah. See, I'm with you. But my wife, last weekend of November, without fail.
Really?
Yeah, I know. It's too soon.
I agree, although I have colleagues who are so into Christmas that they actually start the process somewhere in the middle of the year, which, is a little bit too keen, in my humble opinion.
That is too keen, yeah. All right, look, before we look ahead to 2026, let's sort of look back over 2025. How would you sum it up for them as it draws to a close? For the market as a whole and for Hettich, what kind of view has it been? What are the lessons you're taking from it? What's your kind of evaluation of the whole thing?
Looking back on 2025, I think probably everybody was thinking at the end of 2024 that they could see some green shoots of recovery and things were going to pick up a little bit. And I mean, partly because of the decisions that government has taken and increasing national insurance and all that kind of thing. I think that probably hit an awful lot of businesses quite hard. And maybe some of those hiring decisions or some of those investment decisions that they were intending to make got put back. So maybe the situation in 2025, clearly consumer confidence hasn't really recovered in the way that we were hoping. And as a result, the KBB industry has not had a very good year. I mean, from Hettich's point of view in the UK market, we are up on last year. And that's, I don't want to give my sales team too much credit, but they have been doing a very good job this year. And getting out and telling people about the difference that our products can make to them. And certainly when we took part in Interzum, which is the biggest exhibition in Europe, the feedback that we were getting from our customers was that they saw more innovation on the Hettich stand than anywhere else in the show. And that's great feedback to have, and that shows the importance of actually planning ahead, investing in innovation and giving people something a little bit different. So that's what we've been doing an awful lot of. And then that's what will take us forward into 2026 and beyond. To sum it up, I would say, 2025 has not been an easy year for anybody, but it's also been the time for people to maybe take stock and say, well, either we can sit back and hope that things get better, or we can actually take some positive steps and make sure that things get better. And I think that's probably the change in direction that a lot of businesses have taken in the last 12 months.
And that's a lesson, I think, that from the largest multinational like you guys to the smallest retailer can take away from it. That's nothing to do with size, that's to do with attitude.
Oh, 100%. And, I'm a great believer in the fact that you make your own luck. Certainly talking to businesses on the high street and kitchen retailers and so on, the guys that are continuing to maintain and grow their businesses tend to be the ones that have the most positive mental attitude and are taking practical steps to understand their customer base and produce solutions that are meeting the needs of that customer base.
Okay, well, look, let's get the crystal ball out and talk about 2026. So let's start with the KBB market as a whole. We'll come to Hettich specifically in a minute. But for the KBB market as a sector, what are you thinking for 2026? Are we going to see some green shoots? Is it going to pick up? Is it going to be slow? Is it going to be fast? What do you think?
Well, certainly there are encouraging signs from what the government is proposing. So, The very fact that they are putting so much emphasis on home building, home renovation, that they're talking about building 3 new towns before the next election in 2029, or at least starting the process. These are all encouraging things. And as we know, the new build sector tends to drive development in an awful lot of parts of the market. We know that we've got a housing shortage in this country. And if we need 1.5 million homes, then we're going to need more towns. 3 is just the start. So hopefully that will help to kickstart the rest of the KBB industry. More people who start to move, more people are going to be renovating homes. They're going to be looking to especially upgrade their kitchens and bathrooms. So I think there is reason to be reasonably optimistic. But obviously, as we look into our crystal ball, there's obviously other things that could happen between now and the end of the year, and it's a tricky one to predict.
Oh, I think all that's very true. And I think, going back to what you said earlier, there is a key difference, though. It feels a little bit like ambition has returned and people are being a bit more proactive in how they can grow that market and attack the market. And I personally expect to see a lot more of that in 2026. I think we'll see maybe not innovation in products, because there's a lag with that, but an innovation in how products are sold, an innovation in how relationships with retailers work, or any channel for that matter. These are things that get looked at closely when the market needs a bit of revitalization. If we do what we've always done, we'll get what we've always get.
Yeah.
And that's the bit that kind of changes, I think.
Yeah, very much so. I would agree with that. I think people are looking to use space in a different way. I think we've had the first phase of that as people have started to work from home more. So suddenly a space that was previously just a home space is now an office space as well. That was just the first phase. And I think that as urbanization continues, we're going to end up with more people who are living in smaller spaces in cities. So that also means that we need those spaces to work more effectively for us. And you can see that some of the bigger players in the market, the likes of IKEA, for instance, are taking a different view on their store footprint. With the store in Oxford Street that they've opened, they're clearly looking to produce solutions and sell those solutions closer to the people who are living in an urban environment and in micro apartments and so on and so forth. So, I think there are certain trends within the market that you can see. We're obviously trying to produce furniture fitting solutions which enable our customers to meet the needs of a changing market. And one of those additional trends that you can see is that we're looking at multi-generational living in a different way, I guess. This is something that we used to have many years ago. You'd have multiple generations living in one house. It's something that we see in different parts of the world, that it's the norm. So if you go to India, for instance, it's perfectly normal to have 3 or possibly even 4 generations of family living in a space. And this is something that is happening more and more now in the UK, in that as the value of property goes up, then suddenly it's much more practical for grandparents to be living with their kids and helping to look after the grandkids. In that kind of scenario, then you need to make sure that you've got a space that works for multiple generations. Accessibility becomes much more of an issue, and this is where it needs to drive innovation in the types of furniture that we use and the way that we design our kitchens and bathrooms and so on within that space.
Yeah, look, the market's changing, the customer's changing. Even companies that have been around as long as yours, if they stand still, they'll die very quickly if they don't adapt with that market as it changes. And again, that's a lesson for the smallest retailer to the biggest multinational.
Yeah, very much so. And it's something that we are actively helping our customers to meet those challenges as they come along. I see it as part of the challenge of a company like Hettich to actually read the tea leaves, see what's coming down the track, and make sure that we're in a position to offer solutions to our customers to enable them to meet those new challenges further down the line.
Okay, so in 2026 then, what are the specifics of that? How is that going to manifest itself for Hettich in the next 12 months then? Where are the opportunities for you? Where are you putting your attention?
Well, as I say, we've got quite a lot of innovation coming through. We showed things at Intism this year, which we will also be showing at the KBB in Birmingham in March. For me, that's probably one of the big focuses, is taking a platform like KBB and saying, right, how can we make our solutions relevant to customers in the UK market? How do we show them how they can use those things to meet the needs of their customers? So we're very excited about that as a platform for Hettich and a forum for where we can gain knowledge from our customer base and also make sure that we're imparting knowledge.
People want to see new things, don't they? It's as simple as that. They want to play with some new toys, and I think you guys always offer them something to come and have a play with that is new and they probably haven't seen somewhere before, and that's what makes it so interesting, because you make the toys, don't you?
Well, it's the fun stuff. I think I remember the last show that we did last year, and the excitement from the customers walking around the booth and actually seeing things being demonstrated and stopping, gawping, and then making sure that they came on and had a demonstration for themselves. That's brilliant to see, because what you're able to do in those instances is show them how they can practically use our products as a wow. And that means that they will not only get a positive reaction in showrooms when they put those solutions on display, but it also means that then the end consumer who buys those products will have something to wow their friends with when they come around and show them their kitchen. And that's what drives demand throughout the chain.
Can I just say, I don't think people measure gawping enough at trade shows.
Quite right too.
There should be some kind of gawpometer that you can measure. That should be a measurable
KPI.
A KPI for your show is achieving a gawp rating of over 9.
So what you're basically saying is it depends on how open the mouths are of the people stopping
Yes.
and looking at the displays. I think that's a great idea. We should definitely try and make that happen.
I'm going to build that app.
We'll be there.
If that isn't why AI was invented, I don't know what it's for.
Well said.
All right, so look, there's your Hettich New Year's resolutions, if you like. If you were a sort of a small business operator, a small retailer, what do you think their New Year's resolutions should be?
Look at the market, see how to be different. Look at the trends. Make sure that you're showing things that people will be excited about and will really interest them. I know it sounds really basic, but it works. In the end, if you're a small business, it becomes increasingly important that you stand out from the crowd. And you can do that in many ways. You can do it with the products that you offer. You can do it with the service that you offer. And in the end, I've said this to you before, I think our independent retail sector is very strong. It's very vibrant. It's full of passionate people who really want to do the best for their customer base. That's the root of everything. If you've got good people who are trying to do the right thing for their customers, and they're researching the market, and they are presenting excellent solutions to those customers, then they will be successful. There is absolutely no doubt about that.
Well, that's a brilliant place to finish, Simeon, but I'm afraid there is one more question to go, and it's the most important question, and it is the festive Christmas question. We already know you're a Christmassy person. When you were a kid, what was the best Christmas present you ever got?
Best Christmas present I ever got? That's a fabulous question.
I love that this has taxed you more than any of the other ones.
It would probably be tickets to a concert, because I'm a huge music fan, and best present would have been tickets to Glastonbury.
I think that is a very cool Christmas present. You've won the coolest one so far. Everyone else was like a train set, so you're the coolest one.
Well, can't be bad.
Well done for that, and thank you so much for sparing us a bit of time. Your insight on the market is always valuable. Hettich are such a massive player, so I really do appreciate you giving us a bit of time.
You are extremely welcome, Andy, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too, sir.